Thank you very much for coming out and being with us today. I'm Kristin Duncanson. My husband and I own Highland Family Farms. Along with our children, a couple of our kids are engaged in our operation. So I am a business partner here, 50-50 partner, which is a bit unusual for some Midwestern farming operations. I also have a really unique and fun role in that I work as a consultant in a couple of different areas, advocating for farmers, but also working with policy people and environmental groups to talk about conservation and trade and climate change and how we can enhance farmers' conservation practices on the landscape. Highland Family Farms is a row crop operation. That means we grow corn and soybeans primarily. We also grow some small grains. So for us, that would be rye, cereal rye, which we sell part of that to a distillery up the road here as kind of a value add, we would call that product. We also have a presence in the hog industry. So we have pigs that come to us when they're quite small, maybe between 20 and 40 pounds, and we raise them until they're ready for market. That's kind of our specialty. My primary work, though, is with the Meridian Institute in Washington, D.C., which is an environmental think tank, really. They look at complex problems with the environment to put together actionable solutions. And they can be anything from private sector to public sector. Right now, our big emphasis is addressing food and ag's response to climate. So I grew up in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Went to college undergrad at Luther in Decorah, Iowa, a great little liberal arts school. And I am not a background in agriculture, believe it or not. My background is in political science, communications, and art history. So my love has always been public policy, really. Not politics, but policy. And so that's kind of where I've been able to do my work. After I left the Senate and came back to Minnesota, I worked for Hubbard Milling Company, which was based in Mankato. And I spent a year as their first female outside salesperson up on the Minnesota-Canadian border, where not only had they not seen a feed salesperson for a long time, they'd never seen a woman salesperson. But I would say the things that I'm most proud of are the fact that Pat and I have a successful operation here, being able to engage on a big debate about climate, because it affects not just 56065, the zip code we live in, but the entire globe is rewarding, although not done. For instance, this morning I was on a Zoom call through Meridian where we work, and I looked around at the other faces on that call and went, you set policy for Cargill. The strategy that we're talking about today is something you're going to be talking about with one of the biggest ag companies in the world. But then in the next breath, I'm looking at some other faces of some women in particular that I have worked with for 20 plus years. And cooking is my therapy, and cookbooks are kind of a guilty pleasure. I love them, I collect them, I read about food because, you know, Pat and I have this goal of being closer to the consumer. When we founded Highland Family Farms, that was one of our goals. And how, for me, this is a great way to just play in food. And the travel books are also a collection over the years, because that's how we do our research on where we're gonna go. You know, before COVID, we had a goal of being somewhere every year that we were not comfortable. Always tell our kids we don't have a boat or a camper, but we have passports. So we try to travel when we can. And I kind of have a charmed life being able to do the things I love, as well as being a partner here at the farm.